Should a Christian woman cover her head? Let's talk about it. You've probably seen Orthodox women covering their heads, nuns covering their heads, and even Mother Mary always depicted with a head covering. Why? Is it something outdated or is it something biblical? The Bible actually talks about this. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 11:5, Paul says every woman who prays with her head uncovered dishonors her head. This isn't just cultural, it's a spiritual act of reverence, and it's a sign of humility. Women covered their heads as a sign of submission, not to men, but as submission to God himself. It was like putting on spiritual armor before prayer. But why did a Jewish woman like Mother Mary do it? Jewish women covered their head as a sign of purity. It was an act of devotion at that time. In ancient Jewish culture, women covered their head when they got married. It was an act of honor and commitment. But the early church took this seriously. For hundreds of years, Christian women were required to cover their head in the church. And early church fathers backed this up, saying that it was an act of reverence and commitment. And the Orthodox Church still upholds this tradition until this day. But why did this tradition fade away? And back then, women didn't only wear it in the church, but they wore it outside in public as well. So what happened? Why did it stop? The 1960s feminism pushed against traditional roles. The Vatican lifted the requirement for women to veil in the church in 1960. Many churches moved away from that tradition completely, but Orthodox and traditional Christian women never stopped. In fact, some of them wear it in public as well, not only in the church. Here's the truth. In the church, women should cover their head while they're praying. Outside of the church, God says that your hair is a veil. So whether you choose to wear it outside of the church is a personal choice. But those who do it feel like they're more connected to God. Some women look up to Mary. They feel as if they're walking in her footsteps. They feel protected in God's presence. At the end of the day, God looks at the heart. The Bible says women's hair is to be given as coverings. 1 Corinthians 11:15. So technically your hair is already a veil. But do you want to cover your head outside of church? I don't know, it's up to you if you're brave enough.